Is ego necessary? A journey into self-awareness. Have you ever asked yourself a simple but unsettling question? Is ego necessary? Or is it the very thing that keeps us trapped in suffering? Today, let us go deep into one of the most misunderstood forces within the human mind, the ego. This is not just philosophy. This is about the invisible mechanism that shapes our thoughts, emotions, fears, and even our identity. From the very beginning of human evolution, the mind developed as a protective tool. Its primary purpose was survival. The brain learned to detect danger, analyze situations, and respond quickly to protect the organism, the human body. In that sense, ego was not originally an enemy. It was a survival mechanism. Ego emerged as a psychological structure that helps us define ourselves. It creates the sense of I, me, and mine. This identity helps us navigate the world. It gives us boundaries, self-preservation, and a sense of continuity. Without some sense of self, functioning in society would be difficult. So yes, at one level, ego is necessary. But here begins the deeper question. At what point does a useful mechanism become a prison? The ego constantly interprets everything that comes through the senses. Every word spoken to us, every glance from another person, every situation we encounter, all of it is filtered through the mind. The mind produces thoughts. Those thoughts slowly transform into emotions, and emotions begin to shape our reality. A simple comment from someone can become an inner wound. A small criticism can feel like an attack. A moment of rejection can become a story of worthlessness. Why? Because the ego often feels threatened. Whenever feedback seems to reduce our image of ourselves, the ego reacts. It feels hurt. It feels diminished. It feels unsafe. And here lies one of the greatest problems. The ego often cannot differentiate between a real threat and an imagined one. A physical danger and a bruised self-image are treated almost the same. The body responds, the mind reacts, emotions intensify. Fear, anger, anxiety, and insecurity begin to grow. This creates a vicious cycle. Thoughts give rise to emotions. Emotions feed the mind. The mind strengthens the ego, and the ego produces more thoughts. Round and round it goes, a self-reinforcing loop. The more we identify with the ego, the more we suffer from imagined threats. Sometimes no one is attacking us, yet internally, wars are raging. This is where mental exhaustion begins. Memory becomes disturbed, clarity weakens, suspicion rises. Sometimes even paranoia takes root. The mind starts seeing threats where none exist, and slowly, peace slips away. But there is another path, a higher level of awareness. The way out is not to destroy the ego. The way out is to observe it, to watch how it functions, to become aware of how thoughts arise, how emotions are formed, how reactions are triggered. The moment you begin observing the mind and ego without becoming them, something extraordinary happens. You create distance. You stop saying, "I am angry." Instead, you begin to see, anger is arising within me. This shift is profound, because now you are no longer trapped inside the emotion. You are witnessing it. That witnessing is the beginning of self-awareness. Ego divides the world. It sees people as separate. It compares. It judges. It labels. Family, relationships, status, success, and possessions become extensions of identity. This creates attachment. And attachment creates fear. Fear of loss. Fear of judgment. Fear of not being enough. The more attached the ego becomes to power, recognition, and material validation, the more restless the mind becomes. Because ego is never satisfied. It always wants more. More approval, more control, more importance, more certainty. But true wisdom begins when we recognize this tendency. Self-awareness means seeing clearly. It means understanding that thoughts are not always truth. Emotions are not always reality, and the ego is not the whole of who you are. There is something deeper, a silent awareness beneath thought, a presence untouched by fear, a consciousness that simply witnesses. When you reconnect with that inner awareness, perception begins to change. Compassion replaces judgment. Clarity replaces confusion. Peace replaces inner conflict. The ego may still exist, but it no longer controls your life. Instead of a prison, it becomes a tool. And that is the balance. Ego is necessary for practical life, but it should never become the master of your consciousness. So ask yourself today, am I living from awareness, or am I merely reacting from ego? Because the quality of your life depends on the answer. The moment awareness awakens, suffering begins to lose its grip, and that is where freedom starts. If this reflection resonated with you, write in the comments, "I choose awareness over ego."